Okay, so when we're building a stair, we have different choices of the type of stair that we want to make over here. And I'm going to choose the straight stair. And strangely, you'd think that if you wanted a U-shaped stair, that you'd have to choose this one over here. This one's different. This is a winder stair where the stairs actually, the treads actually angle around the corner. And this is something that's more common in Europe than it is in North America. So I'm going to create a more rectilinear type of stair using the straight tool. And you can actually make any shaped stair with the straight tool. And we're going to run from level 1 to level 2 with no offsets. And Revit is going to calculate how many risers we need based on the rules that are built into this type. And we can choose the type here. So we have different loaded types. I'm going to use this one here, the 7-inch max riser, 11-inch tread, which is a kind of common rule of thumb, 7 to 11, which creates a comfortable stair that works with building codes mostly. So I'm going to use that. And this is best for a residential type of stair. These other ones are more for commercial projects, I think, where we have concrete stairs and we have a metal stair. So this is the type I'll use from level 1 to level 2. And because we have a 10-foot level 2, it's going to calculate the number of stairs that we need and the riser height for each step down to this very small fraction of an inch. So thankfully, Revit does all the math for us. And what we need to do is click where we want the stair to begin and then where we want it to end. Now, if we wanted to have a complete straight run, we would go all the way to the end. But in this case, I'm going to have it go halfway. So we have a total of 18 risers that we need. I'm going to use 9 risers. And then I'm going to click somewhere below this, directly below it. And depending on where I angle this, you can see that the landing being generated would have whatever angle I specify. But in this case, I want to run it right back horizontally. And I'll click over here to create the additional 9 risers that we need to get up to the second level. And now I've essentially created a U-shaped stair. I'll click OK up here. And it says the rail is not continuous. Well, that's okay. Well, we're going to deal with the railings a little bit later. I'm just going to dismiss that for now. And this stair is just kind of hovering in the middle of the room. So what I'm going to do is select it and just drag it over a little closer to the wall, corner over here somewhere. And let's take a look in the 3D view 1, and you can see what we're getting here. A fairly complicated object with railings on it. Now, the railings that I want are going to be different. And in fact, I want the stair maybe to run the other way so that the first flight of stairs is over here. How do we do that? I'll go back to level 1 and click this little arrow here. This will flip the stairs up direction. We get the same warning. In 3D view 1, it looks like this now. So we flipped the stair around and made the mirror image of it. Okay, we're getting a warning because the way that this has to kind of turn and everything maybe is not possible. And that has to do with how much space we have in here. Now, what I'd like to do is build an interior wall running down the middle. This is typical in a residential kind of application. So before I finish my stair, I'm going to draw a wall in. This wall is going to be a basic interior partition. Maybe it's 4 3/4 inch partition, 1 hour rated. And it's going to go from level 1 up to level 2. And I'm just going to draw it like this. And we're going to end up putting that inside of here in a second. But before we know where to put it, we need to get the stair in the right position. So I'm going to select the stair, and it's a little tricky because we have railings. So I'm going to click on the stair itself like this. And I'll use the align tool and then click on the wall and then click on the stair and then do the same thing over here, wall and then stair. Okay, let's take a look at that in 3D. Now, it's hard to tell what's going on. It looks like the stair is embedded in the wall maybe a little bit. So we have to make some refinements here, and I think it would be easier if we didn't have this giant railing in the way. So I'm going to select both railings and change the type to something simpler. Let's say it's a pipe wall mount. This is going to be something more like what we want for a residential application, this type of thing. We're going to be revising that later, but it's a little less busy on the screen now. You can click on the stair and go back to level 1. And I need to move it over a little bit. It's hard to say. I'm going to use the arrow keys just to nudge it. And I think I might have better luck if I were to do this in 3D. So I'm going to go back to my camera view. And I'm going to use the steering wheel to navigate in here. But before I do, I have this crop region visible, and I don't want to see that. So I'll deselect, and I'm going to turn off crop view right here. Then I can have that kind of fill my screen. Then I'm going to use the steering wheel. And this is how we navigate around an interior. So I can walk by dragging on this, and I can walk around, go left and right, and real subtle motions are what you want to do here. And it's all relative to this dot. So the further away from that I move the mouse, the faster I walk. So I can walk over here and then turn right and position myself so I can see what's happening here a little bit better. And then close that. All right. You can use a line, click on the wall, and then I want to get the back side of the stair. So I'm going to press the tab key until I get that, and I can click on that, and that should line it up. And I think it did, but let's look at it in level 1. Yeah, it seems like it did. This dashed line is right on the wall. So evidently that dashed line is the border of the stair. I'll go to Align, click on the wall, click on the stair, take a look in 3D View 1 again, and I'd like to get a better look over there. So what I'm going to do is use the steering wheel again and walk over here, and you can walk right through the wall. And you can also pan. You can see that that's lined up. I can walk backwards, and I can look. So we're going to fix everything here in a minute. But I just want to get a good view of this and make sure I'm getting what I'm imagining. All right. Go back to level 1, and I'm going to take this wall right here and just kind of roughly position it. And then I'll use a line to line it up like that with the edge of the stair. Let's take a look in 3D and see if that makes any sense. I'll use the steering wheel, walk. Looks good. Lined up. We need to get rid of this gap in here now. So we select the stair, edit the stairs, select this flight, and use the arrow keys to nudge it up. Or use a line, click on the wall, and then click on the stair to line it up exactly. And then go back to the cyan tab and accept the change. Take a look in 3D View 1 and use the steering wheel to get a better look at it. I think it's good.